He's the second youngest angler on the Bass Pro Tour. He's only 28 years old. And Jordan Lee ended up winning both the stage title and the heavy hitters in the championship round, which pocketed him a cool 200 grand. Jordan joins us this morning. Jordan, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing great, man. How you feeling being $200,000 richer?
Well, it says 200,000, but Uncle Sam's got to take some of that too. Man, I couldn't be better. It was a heck of a week last week, and when it works out and you pull off a win like that, it just it's definitely special.
You don't like fishing in crowds, so you were trying to find a place away from where most of the anglers were. So what was your strategy there?
Yeah, a lot of times in our tournaments, it's 80 of the best guys, and they, tend to find some of the same water, some of the same fish on these. Doesn't really matter how big the lakes are. So, you can kind of notice, when you see these boats kind of gathering up, and so I just try to stay away from that and try to find something different. And luckily I did. I was just fishing offshore, fishing out really in the middle of the lake, man-made brush piles that somebody else had put out. And that's where I was catching my fish, and I really had it to myself, which, that turned out to be the winning deal.
Awesome. Jordan Lee joins us for Major League Fishing. He was the big winner last weekend in Kissimmee. So when you weren't able to be fishing because Major League Fishing went down in the middle of the pandemic for a couple of weeks, did you just fish on your own, or did you get away from the sport and do something else? I know that you golf a lot as well. What'd you do when Major League Fishing wasn't going on?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird time because, really it's during the springs, the heart of our season, March, April, and in May, really, that's when we're gone a lot and traveling and fishing tournaments. But we weren't able to compete. So, yeah, I really just fished around the house. I got some chores done around the house, got my grass, and everything's pretty pristine right now. More than it would be.
When you have time during quarantine, everything gets cleaned and cut all of the time, right? Because you got nothing else to do.
Stupid. Yeah, it's almost too good. So for me, usually, I needed to kind of have a little rough, but you're right. We had a lot of time on our hands.
No doubt.
I did.
Now, how about with the circuit being back? Will you fish midweek in between tournaments, or do you try to get away from it and do something else?
Yeah, so, we start back. There's another tournament this weekend that I'm actually leaving for today. Or it's actually next week. But typically during the week, now is going to be super busy. July, August is going to be packed full of tournaments. And, in between those, I won't really go out and fish as much just because there's going to be so many tournaments back to back. But, man, I love it. I love the sport. I love being out there and competing in tournaments. And, it's just what I do. And, it's just the competition's what I love about it.
I'm trying to go out this weekend to do a little fishing, and I'm interested in what you used around the brush pile. What type of bait were you using?
Yeah, so, I use a lot of different baits, especially last week I did. But, a crankbait, a square bill crankbait is a great bait no matter where you're at. But, it's not a hard bait to fish. You can throw it out, you can reel it in, and there's not a whole lot of, really the user doesn't have to do a whole lot. Anything that dives shallow, is great. Is great for anybody. And a 10-inch worm too. I was using a 10-inch worm, which is a pretty big worm, but they're not scared of it.
Jordan Lee joins us from Major League Fishing. You grew up in Alabama, and you are a big Auburn fan. So give me the genesis of this. Was it your family? Was it you as a kid choosing Auburn? How did it come about?
Yeah, so my dad, he actually went to Auburn, and my mom went to Tennessee. But my dad was a vet. He went to vet school in Auburn, and anyways, it's just a place that I've always loved, and so I went to school there at Auburn, and got to see some iconic. I actually saw it yesterday, the kick six.
Oh, you were You were there?
I was there. I got
Whoa.
to go to some cool. I mean, I was right there. Cam Newton was coming in. So I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened. It was a fun couple of years there, sports wise.
Oh, my goodness. Jordan, tell me what it was like to be in the stadium for the kick six. That is one of the most iconic moments in college football history.
It is. You know what's crazy? One of my good friends, he'd never been to a college football game. I was like, man, come on down. I was like, well, you need to come down for the weekend. He went to a small community college. I said, you need to come down for the weekend. Let's go to a football game. It's a pretty big game. And so that was his first college football game to ever go to. And, all I can remember was just, goosebumps. I mean, when he caught it and he started running it back, I mean, rushing the field, the whole 9 yards. I just remember being out on the field. Everybody was going nuts. I mean, it was incredible.
Oh,
I wish I could flash back to it.
That is so awesome. Jordan Lee, professional bass fisherman, joins us this morning on the show. I went down to Auburn for the first time for a game a couple of seasons ago when Georgia was in town. It was 2 top 10 teams, and I got to do the whole bit. I got the lemonade at Toomer's Corner, and I went to Jordan-Hare Stadium the night before and went out for the Tiger Walk early in the morning and then went to the game. And then late, they rolled Toomer's Corner. And I got to say, out of all of my years of doing college football road trips, Auburn, for some of me and my buddies, was our favorite one. We just thought top to bottom as a college football experience, it was one of the best ones we had ever been to. It is just such a great weekend
cool.
It is such a great weekend to be there for an Auburn football game, isn't it?
Man, it really is. I think it's the town, it's the people. It's just a cool town. It's kind of got a small town feel to it, but you got a lot going on, and the tradition there is pretty special, which it is in a lot of college football, stadiums. And but yeah, man, the eagle flying in, there's just a lot of tradition there.
Yeah,
and it's a great place. So, like you said, I'm glad it took care of you, and glad you enjoyed it.
Man, when that eagle comes in to the stadium, it is just deafening. It is so cool. There's such an electricity. So how much do you hate Bama?
I wouldn't say I hate them,
okay,
but I don't know how to explain it. I dislike a lot of Alabama fans, and some of them are my really good friends. And during football season, we're not friends, so. But after, we're all good. But they're just so good, man. And it sucks, I mean, there's Saban is just, he's got a dynasty, and it's just tough to deal with in the same state.
Oh man,
it's just tough.
It's got to be brutal for all your Alabama fans that just keep taunting you every single year.
It is. It's brutal, but we get through it somehow, and whenever we beat them, it's like we won the national championship now. So.
Jordan Lee, last week, absolutely crushed it for Major League Fishing, taking home the championship belt and a cool $200,000. Hey, when you win something like that, do they actually give you the oversized check, and do you have to bring it to a bank, or is that just direct deposit, like it goes right into your account?
Well, that's a great question. They don't give you an oversized Happy Gilmore check, which would be cool if they did. I would take them. I would just do like what Happy did, and just stuff them in your car. just keep rolling. But they give you a check, right then and there. So it's actually a piece of paper. It's not direct deposit. But
so you got to actually go to the bank, huh? Or I guess you can scan it now on your app.
Bank.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually got to go to the bank. So, but it's not a bad thing. They just look at you a little funny, I'm sure. But
that's awesome. Jordan Lee joining us this morning on the show from Major League Fishing. MLF is back. They're on the water. It's great to have sports back. It's great to have MLF back on the water as well, which is very cool. Hey, this is a lot of fun, Jordan. We got to do this again, especially with college football around the corner. Hopefully they'll play this season, but we got to talk more fishing and college football when that starts up.
Hey, I'm down anytime. Kind of goes hand in hand. I'm looking forward to, I'm glad we're kicked off. Hopefully, college football is just around the corner. So we'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, great stuff, man. Congrats. Thanks so much.